Hey everybody, it's TJ here again with another edition of Custom Conquest Showcase. Thanks for joining me. If you caught the last episode, you heard me mention how over the past few years, Nintendo's been rolling out all the stops for their atmospheric E3 booth experiences, and that some of the character installations have provided me with customizing inspiration. 2019's Luigi's Mansion themed setup inspired last episode's Gooigi amiibo. The Legend of Zelda display of 2016 included a life-sized Link that Nintendo produced as an official amiibo. And in 2017, Nintendo's E3 floor transported us to New Donk City, featuring figures of not only Mario posing with his newfound friend Cappy, but also several captured forms, including Chain Chomp Mario, Bullet Bill Mario, Tank Mario, and the one that left an immediate and lasting impression on me, the Goomba Stack. This muckle of minions first debuted in the 3DS title Super Mario 3D Land, and returned in the Wii U follow-up Super Mario 3D World. Super Mario Odyssey for Nintendo Switch also features this pile of pests, only this time, Mario in his Cappy captured Goomba guise gets to steer the stack at the top of the tower. In addition to the 3 official Mario Odyssey amiibo revealed at that very same E3, Nintendo also unveiled a Koopa Troopa and Goomba amiibo. Such an easy, obvious, and eye-catching custom was too tempting to resist. I knew at once I needed to construct a custom captured Goomba tower, but it didn't go down even remotely according to my initial plans, and it's rare when I can say this, actually wound up being much easier than expected. Originally, I planned to collect 3 Goomba amiibo, combine one with the hat and mustache from a Mario amiibo, paint his eyes blue, and stack them atop one another. Simple enough, right? But no! There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. Ouch! Sorry. Sheesh, coolly, you feisty feline. It's just an expression. I would never endorse cruelty to any animal of any kind. Except mosquitoes. I stinking hate those things! Get out of here! Anyway, I stand by my original design, it totally would have worked, but as alternate options emerged, I shifted my approach. As it happened, Jakks Pacific released their own take on the classic Goomba figure in 2.5-inch scale as part of their World of Nintendo line, notably smaller than the hulking Goomba amiibo. I felt that a trio of these little fellas stacked atop one another would measure more aesthetically in accordance with the rest of the collection. As I soon discovered, it wasn't exactly an easy task to track down multiple Jakks Pacific World of Nintendo 2.5-inch Goomba figures, and that stalled the actual customizing, which in this case turned out to be a bit of a blessing in disguise. Before I could procure a proper pile, Jakks Pacific released a captured Goomba Mario figure, basically exactly what I intended to create myself, and provided a welcome shortcut. So with my updated plan in place, it was time to pick the platform and base. I wanted to stick with the red base and checker patterned platform to keep consistent with the rest of the Mario series amiibo. I had to weigh a few factors here, starting with what figure I wanted it to function as. I mean, if I give this guy a scan, what kind of feedback do I want to get from the games? Do I want it to read as a Goomba amiibo? Or as a Mario amiibo? Ultimately, I decided that even though Mario's outnumbered 2-to-1, I think of this figure more as an alternate Mario form than anything else. So I went with the Mario NFC chip. But neither of the red-based Mario amiibo present a particularly compatible foot placement to prevent having to perform restoration of the platform, so I expanded my search and finally opted for a Toad amiibo instead. I had an extra Toad on hand, and the placement of his feet on the platform almost perfectly matched the position of Jakks Pacific's Goomba. I popped open Toad's base with a thin butter knife, extracted his NFC tag, and replaced it with Mario's. Since I couldn't exactly balance this building of baddies on the base, I needed some structural support to convince the stack to stick. I was looking for something strong and sturdy, but also flexible enough for me to shape and easily trim to length. I typically rely on paper clips for most of my makeshift armatures, but the standard paperclip proved too thin for the task and felt a little too flimsy, so I upgraded to a butterfly paperclip. You know, the one Gizmo famously fashioned into a bow and arrow in Gremlins 2: The New Batch? No? Too obscure? Early 90s kids know what I'm talking about. With the aid of my trusty hand drill, I drilled a hole in the center of the amiibo platform, the top and underside of my 2 standard Goombas, and the bottom of my Mario Goomba. I then bent my butterfly paperclip to 180 degrees and fed them on top into a proper stack. The way each pair of Goomba feet connected to the top of the corresponding Goomba's head struck me as very artificially integrated. I took a look back at my original E3 inspiration and noticed how the feet fit flush to the top of the head beneath it, and decided I could achieve the same effect if I wrapped some sandpaper around a 3/4-inch dowel rod and ran it along the bottom of my middle Goomba and captured Goomba. At first I proceeded with caution, starting off with a fine grain to prevent any unintended and unsightly scratches, but I quickly realized I had to remove quite a bit to make it fit, so I leveled up to a pretty rough grade and really started chipping off chunks. It was a back and forth, trial and error, test as you go type affair to ensure I removed precisely the required amount of mushroom stem to achieve optimum stackability. I plugged my pieces on the paperclip pike in a perfect pile, and for good measure, stuck this stack with some super glue. At the end of the game, my Goomba Stack amiibo wound up being one of my simplest creations, and I'm happy to have it. Not only because it looks so cool, but also because it lets my Triforce Heroes Totem Link take on someone their own size. Yeah, Link fights Goombas, it's a thing. Check out Link's Awakening! Mario can capture all kinds of characters in Mario Odyssey, but something about him walking a mile in the shoes of the first foe I ever fought on a Nintendo console makes this amiibo all the more special to me. I appreciate you taking the time to keep up with my customs. More episodes of Custom Conquest Showcase on the way. I hope you'll join me again. Until then, thanks for playing.